Hey there, cool cats. I have two more videos for you guys, and then we're pretty much done. We're like done. We are done for the rest for the year. I think I'm only gonna put up like one, maybe two more assignments, but most like definitely one for sure. So if you're at a point where you're kind of you're behind in the work and stuff, don't wait until the 17th to do everything. All right, everything will probably be due on the 18th because that's the last day for assignments. And yeah, so why don't we just jump into this? So the last thing I wanted to kind of tell you guys is it kind of follows up everything that I showed in the other video. Okay, in the other video, we were finding like cos and sine of angles, of different angles, right? It's more specifically, we were finding the angles that like what came from the unit circle angles, right? And these were very, very specific angles, right? So let me kind of just like recap real quick, right? In the unit circle where the radius is 1, there were like 5 values in the first quadrant I wanted you to memorize, or at least know how to like use. You don't need to memorize them like now, obviously, but in pre-calc you will need to. Okay, so make sure you know how to use that unit circle. Get used to like oops. Oh no. Okay. Get used to using those values in the first quadrant, right? And you'll be good, right? So for this one, this is 1, 0. This one is root 3 over 2, comma 1 half. This one is root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. This one is 1 half root 3 over 2. And this one is 0, 1. Right? And we said that cosine would represent the x value, and sine would represent the y value. Right? So if I wanted cosine of, oh, and I forgot to label these. So this is 0 degrees, this is 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and then 90 degrees. Right? So if I wanted like sine of, I don't know, like 90 degrees, that would mean sine of 90 degrees is the y value at 90 degrees, and that's just 1. Right? So that's it. That's pretty much it, right? And then the other videos shows you how to do other angles, like how to like other angles in other quadrants, right? If you're still kind of iffy on that, that's fine. Just takes a little bit more practice. Feel free to make up some problems yourselves, right? So there's essentially only like what is it? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's only like 11 other like spots to choose from, right? Or variants of that, So as long as you understand the first quadrant, everything else should be fine. But you noticed we only talked about cosine and sine. So this is the new stuff, all right? We only talked about cosine and sine, right? But there are other trig functions out there, aren't there? Right? We know there's sine, cosine, and tangent. Tangent. So we know that sine would refer to y, cosine refer to x, but then what does tangent refer to? Let me show you guys what it refers to. So let's say I had this again. I have my unit circle one more time, right? And that's 1, right? So I'm going to drop my altitude, and like I said, I did all this in the other videos, so hopefully I'm not going too fast here. So tangent, right? If this is my angle, if that's the angle I'm interested in, then well, what's my tangent? Tangent is, if you don't remember, it's opposite over adjacent. Well, from theta, what's opposite? Isn't that the height? Isn't that the like up and down value or the y value? And then the adjacent for tangent is going to be, oh, sorry, this is the opposite, is going to be x, right? It's the left and right value. So to do TOA for tangent, it's actually going to end up being y over x. What does that mean? What does that mean? So if I wanted like tangent of, let me do an easy one first, 45 degrees. Tangent of 45 degrees. Well, tangent, once again, means This means y over x. Take the y value at the point and divide it by the x value at the point. If I look at the 45 degrees one, right? Sorry, my circles are looking like eggs today. Right? If that's the 45 degrees, and this one is root 2 over 2, comma, root 2 over 2, well, all this means is take the y value, which is root 2 over 2, and divide it by the x value. And oh my gosh, tangent of 45 is actually just 1. Right? So, you know, you can kind of guess, right? The other values are going to be a little different, maybe even a little more harder because like there's like a little bit it's complex to find the values. But, you know, just work them through, you know, simplify them. I'll do one more with you guys. Tangent of let's say 60 is equal to I'm just going to cheat and look at my 60 degrees right here. 60 degrees is this guy. So it looks like the x is 1/2 and the y is root 3 over 2. So that means tangent of 60 is going to be root 3 over 2, because that was my y value, over 1/2. All right. Well, if I wanted to simplify this, well, this is the same thing as root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1, right? Like keep, change, flip when you divide fractions. The 2's are going to cancel out, and you're left with root 3. Okay? So, yes, with tangent, just like cosine and sine, you should be giving me exact answers, right? Like you don't need to punch that root 3 into a calculator. You just leave it as it is. Leave it as it is, right? So yeah, one more weird case. Let's do tangent of 90. Right? Tangent of 90. So I'm going to cheat again. I'm going to look at my unit circle. X is 0. Y is 1. So that means I have 1 over 0. Right? And you're like, oh, snap, what is that? I don't know what that means. If you punch that into a calculator, it's going to be like, does not compute, right? So this is actually undefined. We have an undefined answer, because you can't divide 1 by 0. All right? In the next video, I am going to show you the reciprocal trig functions. And yes, we can use the reciprocal trig functions as well, right? So there's sine, cosine, tangent. And then if you remember, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. This is where they come back, our good friends. All right? You know, feel free to like come up with your own examples. Try the problems that I don't assign, you know, for practice. And yeah, you guys will be good with this in no time. All right? See you at the next video. Oh, sorry. See you at the last video.